Hello, friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers. And yeah, I'm finally getting around to the last night Voyager Optimus Prime. I've actually had this guy for a while, but other stuff just kind of took precedent, and yeah, so we're getting to him now. And I've never been the biggest fan of the movie Optimus look, honestly. I tend to prefer cartoon or more stylized third-party Optimus over the movie Optimus, but I'm generally okay with this. I feel like, especially this one here, it's different enough, and there have been enough iterations that it's fine. It's fine. Plus, I mentioned it with the Steelbane and Skeletron video, but I do kind of love the night aesthetic that they have going with this particular line. But anyway, the truck. It's a truck. It's not bad. I mean, it does actually close up really nice. It's you've got various truckish details all over. It's not bad. I also do very much like that they just left the windows as just black. I appreciate the fact that they didn't bother making the windows see-through, because there's nothing to see in there but robot kibble. Yeah, the truck looks pretty nice, and there is some nice bits of detail, just molded detail throughout. I do wish that, well, not wish, but I do think it would be nice if there was a little bit more paint on this alt mode. Like, for starters, I know this isn't a screw up because it's in the promotional shots, and I think this is also in like the larger liter size Optimus, but I just don't get what's with this blue unpainted strip going down the middle of the grill. It just looks really off to me, though there's a teeny tiny little Autobot symbol in there, so that's impressive. Other thing that kind of bugs me with this is the headlights aren't painted as headlights. Like, it's just silver all across the front here. What on here is supposed to be headlights? I'm assuming it's these bits here, but they're silver. They're not, painted in anything that would indicate that they're lights. Same thing up here. This is a nice silver, but all these lights up here are just silver. So yeah. There's some nice flame detail, though. And I like this kind of metallic-y blue that they used for the flame details. The only thing that's unfortunate is that there is kind of a lot of detail here that, while it's there, it's not really painted. Which, I mean, it's not unusual or anything like that, but it's, I just imagine it would look so much nicer if there was just more paint. But still, it is nice. The only thing really that bugs me in terms of the flame design is, I do like how it goes from the blue to the red back to the blue. It's like a nice kind of shift in color as it goes back. But it is kind of jarring how there's nothing up here. Like, it's, all throughout the front here and all along the sides, but then there's absolutely nothing going on up here. It just kind of gets cut off, and it just feel like they could have maybe pushed that a little further. And there's the other thing that always bugs me. No painted wheels or rims or whatever. Which is not a deal breaker or anything like that, but it would have been nice. Because it's just, this is just flat black plastic. But anyway, more stuff, the fuel tanks, all that. And you also have this thing in the way, so let's get it out of the way. And while we're at it, let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. So now we can look a little bit more back here, and I do think that's nice how that actually looks like a real truck trailer hitch. This is a little out of place, but with the shield on there, it kind of covers it up. And then some nice light detail on the back. That could use paint, but, it's how it goes with these things. But ultimately, it's not a bad truck. I just really, for me, the thing that I think is the most egregious in terms of lack of paint is the wheels. Specifically the rims, you know. Like, I say wheels, but I mean rims. It just, for whatever reason, I feel like even with this nice shift with the blue to the red and with the flame details, just, I can't help but every time I look at this guy in vehicle mode, I just look at those wheels and it's just like, ugh, it makes him feel not properly painted or not well painted, even though there is actually a lot of paint on this figure. For whatever reason, the lack of paint there just screams at me. Whereas everything else, it's like, yeah, there's paint that could go up here, there could be more paint in here, but really it's just this that stands out to me more than anything. But not much I can do about that aside from getting my own paints and painting it, which I'm not going to do. At least not anytime soon. Still, it's fine for what it is, and as with most of my Transformers, I don't really display them in alt mode anyway. But let's do some quick size comparisons. Bring in Voyager Megatron here, and I do still intend to do a video on this guy. I'm just, at this point, I'm waiting because I have the Wei Jiang oversized version of him, Rendesora, in the mail. I have no idea how far along it is in terms of the mail and when it's going to get here, but I kind of want to do him with that figure when I get them so I can look at them both side by side. So yeah, but anyway, that's Prime and Megatron, and yeah, Prime is denser, but Megatron is bigger. And as per usual, we will do the Titans Return Deluxe and plunk down our Samus amiibo there. So, I mean, this is, I guess, regular Voyager size, from what I understand in terms of classic Voyager sizes. I mean, truth be told, I don't generally care about the size of most of these things. It's just sometimes nice to know, because then I'll be able to figure out how well I can fit them on a shelf. But I know other people care, so that's why I do it, because of you. It's because I love you. Anyway, that is it for the size comparison. So let's do the transformy thingy. Alright. Last Night Voyager Optimus Prime. He is a knight now. He was the leader figure from the last movie. He was a knight too, but yeah. Definitely a little bit more of a refined knight look here. And, I mean, I like it generally speaking. There are definitely things that kind of bug me about this, but overall, I do like it. Kind of wishing that I had foregone this guy so I could try and get my hands on the thing is the Comic-Con version that's got a little bit different of a paint scheme, a little bit more detail here and there, because the paint job on that just looks better. But this isn't bad. I mean, there's a lot of silver on this guy, but the problem that I have is it's kind of just silver, 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 silver. Like, it just isn't integrated very well. It's just blocks of silver in a few places. And there's just like big blank sections here, and then here it's like this is nice and silver, but then suddenly it's gray, and it's just, yeah. Overall, I do like the look, though. I mean, the like boots, legs look pretty nice. There's a lot of detail here. The problem, and I know it's for transformation, but I kind of the thigh swivels kind of bug me because you get some nice detail here, but it gets broken up when you start to turn them. And then also if you turn them this way, it separates itself, which is a little bit eh. But, I mean, you're not going to be turning them this far in robot mode anyway. It's more just the fact that you've got this nice continuous detail that goes between the two pieces that just gets broken up when you rotate the thigh too much. But there is some nice molded detail in the silver bits and in the not painted bits. The knee pads actually look like knight helmets themselves. And yeah, and you got some nice detail in the arms. It's not quite the same kind of knight gauntlet look that the actual in the movie Optimus has from what I've seen, but not bad. And honestly, like, yeah, the paint gets cut off here, but I think this actually works better because this is not, like, it goes around. It does kind of give it the impression that this is something he's wearing, or if it were armor, that's something that he'd be wearing on his forearm. So yeah, it's not a full gauntlet, but it is an arm guard. And, you know, it may actually be a full gauntlet, but like just painting this, it still looks like an arm guard. It still works. It's just certain other areas where the cutoff and paint is a little awkward. And also this, it's like, if this is supposed to be armor, why is it just his bicep? Like, there's a lot more arm here, and that might be armor too, but it's not painted, so yeah. It's just the paint distribution on this guy is just weird to me. But he's got the shoulder armor, which is nice, but a little thin. Or I should say a little narrow. Still not bad. I actually do really dig these blue kind of collar pieces here. And the red and blue pecs are fine. Some really nice sculpted detail on the chest here. It's just that big old block of silver that's surrounded by dark gray is a little off-putting to me. No, off-putting's the wrong way to put it. It stands out as needing work to me. So the face is nice. I like the kind of Knight Helmet Optimus Prime. The sculpt is quite nice. There's a lot of detail in there. I like the kind of the way the faceplate kind of narrows in, makes him look. You know, this would be a daunting Knight helmet. It does look good. That streak of silver going down the middle with that detail there is nice. The light blue eyes, I don't know. I'm not too into the light blue eyes. It's hard to tell, but I don't think they really, like, I think they painted a bit too much of the eyes light blue. Maybe they could have, I don't know, like a different color, I think. Or maybe just do like the pupils light blue. But paint budgets, I know. It's a thing. It's just the light blue for the eyes, especially when taken in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't sit right with me. That color strikes me as out of place when you look at it in terms of the entire figure. And yeah, his eyes have to stand out because they're his eyes, but I feel like a different color would have worked a little better there. But whatever. So yeah, he's not bad. I'll just attach his shield here because sometimes I care about looking at accessories, other times not so much. So the sword has some really nice molded detail on it. I do not care for this orange color at all. It's just, yeah. This shade of orange just doesn't seem like it fits with a big robot that's also a knight. It's a carrot. It's carrot orange. I just feel like this it would be much better either unpainted or as a just different color because it just doesn't look right to me. I'm fine with the shield. The light blue is a little bit too light in my opinion, and it's also weird that his shield is the same color as his eyes. Like, seriously? It's just, I don't know why they decided, hey, let's make the shield the same color as his eyes. Sure. Seems a little odd, but not much I can do about that unless I want to paint the whole thing. The shield looks nice in terms of like shape and stuff, and honestly, I feel like if his eyes weren't blue, the color would be fine. But yeah, it's just a little weird. Also, I get that he's a knight, but it seems a little strange to have a cross right there, especially an upside down one. Like, I don't know if I don't imagine they're really trying to say anything there, but it's just kind of like knights, especially medieval knights, were big into the whole Catholicism thing, and then giving the knight Optimus Prime what looks like an upside down cross on his shield. I don't know. I just don't know if they're trying to say anything there, or if I'm just reading too much into it. Now, the one other thing that actually has bugged me about this guy since the first day I got my hands on him, and it's something that I was kind of surprised I didn't see anyone else taking issue with, is his proportions. Now, ignoring the fact that he's got these added pipe bits back here that just kind of hang down and make his torso look chunkier than it actually is, his legs are wrong. I mean, not bad. Just checking to see like the waist there. They're not like, they're fine. They look fine, but like proportionally, he's got so much shin. So much shin. And barely any thigh. And then this squat little torso sitting on top of these really weirdly long but also stumpy legs. It's a little bit not good. I mean, you can see, like, when you bend the leg, there's just so much leg down here. Also barely any bend, but just so much leg. So little leg up here. I wish that the knees were down further, at the very least. Anyway, that's enough complaining about Optimus. Let's get to some size comparisons. Alright, so here he is next to Megatron, and they do look good together. I do think it's interesting how the paint scheme on Megatron is much more understated than the one on Optimus, but I feel like Megatron looks much nicer overall. But that's just, because Optimus has that issue that bugs me with the paint distribution being kind of wonky. But yeah, they do look good together. And I do really like how they've got this knight aesthetic theme with all the figures. But like, I like how they're both very much knight themed, but the actual design aesthetic of their individual, I guess you could say, armor designs are very, very different, which definitely makes it seem like they're from completely different factions, which of course they are, but it's just neat how it's like this overarching theme that ties them together, but they do still look quite unique on their own. Plus, Megatron's sword is a lot cooler. And here he is with Titan's Return, Deluxe, and Samus, who wants to tilt because of this tent thing. And yeah, he's current Voyager size-ish. Completely does not fit the aesthetic of either of the other two figures here. But he's a good size. I'll marry you too. So yeah, the Last Knight Optimus, not a bad figure. I don't know, I feel like if it weren't for the fact that I really wanted to get Steelbane and Skeletron to go with him, I probably wouldn't necessarily be all that interested in hanging on to him. Because, I mean, he cleans up nice. The backpack flattens pretty nicely. The problem being that because of these flaps, his arm can't really... Like, you have to bring his arm out to bring it back, or you have to just completely undo the backpack. So, there's that. There's the wonky leg proportions and the very, very why even bother knee bend. He's still, he can make it pretty good just standing there looking like he's going to kick some butt. Like, you can pull that kind of pose off, but it's mostly just the weird blocky paint distribution that bugs me, and it's a shame because there's some, it's nice. There's a lot of nice silver on this guy. It's just, there's nothing really tying it all together. There's just this like void of dark gray plastic in places that separate each section from itself, and it is a little bit off-putting. I don't dislike it, and I do have to say that, you know, will freely admit I do like the fact that you got this metallic blue that's on the forearms that goes up into the shoulders and along here. Like it looks like proper armor plating. I just wish there was a little bit more like finer detail on him, and maybe if the silver was, maybe if there was like a little bit of silver in the thighs to kind of pull everything together a little bit more. And it's also just these shoulders going from silver and blue to like just this dark gray. But I'm repeating myself at this point. I tend to do that a lot, don't I? So yeah, I don't dislike Prime. I just know that there are much, much stronger figures in the Last Night line than this one. It's probably the better of the movie Primes I've had, at least at this size, and that's not to say I've had that many, but yeah, I mean, the transformation's fun and all. It's just that paint scheme leaves a bit to be desired. The carrot sword is a bit annoying, and yeah, his leg proportions are weird, but still, he fits the aesthetic, and he looks good sitting between, or standing between Steelbane and Skulltron, so there's that. And he does look good next to Megatron, I do have to admit that. Anyway, that's enough of that. That has been my look at Transformers The Last Night Voyager class Optimus Prime. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob, and remember, art is more than meets the eye, even if I don't appreciate it very much.